Floods wreak havoc in many communities in Zamfara and Jigawa states.
Nobody can tell you the exact number of farmlands submerged by the flood. It has almost destroyed all the farmlands.
National Youth Service Corps expels 54 Corps members illegally mobilized by university. And People's Democratic Party clears all seats in Bauchi State local government polls. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We're live in Abuja. I am Dennis Adigunloye. Reports reaching us say that the Asagba in Council has announced the selection of Professor Epiphany Azinge, a professor of law, as the 14th Asagba of Asaba. Traditional rites and other coronation activities for his interment commence immediately. Now, one person has been confirmed dead and many houses and farmlands destroyed as floods wreaked havoc in Gumi local government area of Zamfara State. Jamilu Ibrahim reports that the Zamfara State government has ordered immediate relief support to victims.
The flood, which occurred as a result of a heavy downpour that lasted for more than 48 hours, submerged many houses and farmlands across Gumi town, headquarters of Gumi local government area of Zamfara State, and some neighboring communities. Though the exact number of houses and farmlands affected by the disaster is yet to be ascertained, many residents describe the flood as the most devastating in recent years. Hundreds of the displaced persons are now taking shelter in the least affected neighborhood and communities. The victims continue to count their losses as they appeal for urgent intervention to cushion the effect of the disaster. I have lost my house and all other valuables therein, including the foodstuffs, to the flood. We are appealing to the state and the federal governments to urgently come to our aid. Nobody can tell you the exact number of farmlands submerged by the flood. It has almost destroyed all the farmlands in this area. As of the time of filing this report, good Samaritans were sighted busy trying to help some victims, especially women and children, out of the flooded areas. Meanwhile, Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal has in a statement sympathized with the people of Gumi Emirate over the tragedy. He also directed the Zamfara State Emergency Management Agency to immediately assess the situation for urgent intervention to the victims. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Meanwhile, victims of the recent floods that ravaged many communities in 12 local government areas of Jigawa State say they are in dire need of support to resettle. Awal Mohammed Kazaure, who visited Kiyawa, one of the affected local government areas, reports that the floods destroyed many houses, thousands of hectares of farmlands, and forced victims to take refuge in school buildings and IDP camps.
People of Kiyawa are among the more than 3,000 people displaced by the devastating flood across about 12 local government areas of Jigawa State. Muhammad Ibrahim and his family, who now live in IDP camp, said for the last 20 years they had been living in the area peacefully, but this time all their belongings had been lost to the flood. He and other victims have to bear the inconveniences attached to living in IDP camp, separated from their immediate families.
We are receiving support from the government, but it is still not enough. As you can see, there are a lot of people here.
State Emergency Management Agency has already responded to the plight of the victims, but it said that it's not enough, appealing to the federal government and other well-meaning Nigerians to support the victims.
When disaster comes, all hands must be on deck to support the government effort. It is pertinent that we should start soliciting for urgent humanitarian support to assist the internally displaced persons with either food or non-food items to be able to support the victims during the trying time.
Provision of food, drug, and mosquito nets is essential to support Muhammad Ibrahim and his likes who now live in IDP camps to avoid any outbreak of diseases. In Dutse, Awal Muhammad Kazaure, NTA News.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has debunked media reports that the company is indebted to international oil traders to the tune of $6.8 billion and that it has not remitted revenue to the Federation account since January, among other allegations. Olufemi Soneye, Chief Corporate Communications Officer of NNPC Limited, says that in the oil trading business, transactions are carried out on credit, and so it is normal to owe at one point or another. But NNPC Limited, through its subsidiary, NNPC Trading, has many open trade credit lines from several traders. The company is paying its obligations of related invoices on a first-in, first-out basis. He says it is not correct to say that NNPC Limited has not remitted any money to the Federation account since January, since NNPC Limited and all its subsidiaries remit their taxes to the Federal Inland Revenue Service regularly. This is in addition to payments of CIT to road contractors under the Road Investment Tax Credit Scheme. On the issue of quality and quantity fiscalization of imported petroleum products, NNPC Limited has no role whatsoever as it is not a regulator. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, which is the relevant regulatory agency in charge of such issues, is an independent body and does not report to NNPC Limited. Meanwhile, NNPC Limited, in a statement released, says the organization regrets the tightness in fuel supply witnessed in some parts of Lagos and the FCT. The statement by Olufemi Soneye, Chief Corporate Communications Officer, NNPC Limited, attributes the tightness to distribution on the issue of quality and quantity fiscalization of imported products. NNPC has no role to play. NNPC Limited urges motorists to shun panic buying, stressing that it is working round the clock with relevant stakeholders to restore normalcy. Well, towards safeguarding the health of Nigerians and protecting the environment, attention is being drawn to alleged substandard fuel being imported into the country. At a media briefing in Abuja, the Citizens and Economic Freedom Rights activists in Nigeria, CEFRAN, brought to light the alleged blending and distribution of such hazardous fuel in a foreign country and subsequently imported into the country.
We need a probe. Before such probe can be effective, those at the helm of affairs need to be removed from those positions so that a clear insight can be gotten into what is actually happening, especially in the operational system of those in power. It saddens me a lot to see the rate at which, especially this bad fuel, is affecting our economy at this point in time. So many other Nigerians are bedeviled by these actions of this fuel. And so we need to really cleanse the system.
The group calls for a thorough investigation into this unwholesome practice and a major shake-up in the industry to ensure the health of Nigerians is not compromised. A Vietnam-bound businessman has been arrested by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport after he tested positive for cocaine ingestion. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim reports that during the week under review, 6.2 billion naira worth of codeine bottles were also recovered at Onne Port.
The 54-year-old suspect was intercepted at the boarding gate of the Abuja airport on Monday, 12th August, after 4 days under excretion observation. He ingested a total of 88 wraps of the illicit drug. He claimed that he was given the cocaine pellet to swallow by a friend for onward delivery to Vietnam for a fee of $2,000. In the same vein, NDLEA officers at the export shed of the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, have intercepted a shipment of loud weighing 800 grams concealed in noodles going to Congo. A follow-up operation at the Alaba International Market led to the arrest of the sender of the consignment, who deals in GSM handsets. Meanwhile, a large consignment of loud imported from Canada have been recovered by NDLEA operatives at the Lagos airport. A suspect who arrived with 6 boxes was arrested during a joint examination by the security agencies at the arrival hall. No less than 892,400 bottles of codeine-based syrup worth more than 6 billion naira were recovered in 5 containers shipped from India, while operatives in Niger State on Thursday, 15th August, arrested a suspect in Kontagora town with 28,500 pills of tramadol concealed in loudspeaker. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
The National Youth Service Corps has expelled 54 corps members illegally mobilized by the University of Calabar for national service. Director General, NYSC, Brigadier General Ushau Ahmed stated this while briefing newsmen in his office in Abuja. Olayinka Ojo reports.
For some time now, the NYSC has been faced with the challenge of some corps-producing institutions giving approval to unqualified graduates to participate in the mandatory one-year national call to service.
Remain vigilant and proactive in our approach.
But this time around, it is Vice Chancellor, University of Calabar, taking the bull by the horn, reporting suspected cases of illegal mobilization of unqualified graduates from the institution to the NYSC.
So all this lies on the integrity of the institutions and the Vice Chancellors concerned. You understand? That's why I said we must all give applause to the Vice Chancellor of University of Calabar.
While noting that the affected corps members will be prosecuted, the NYSC Director General says 19 other individuals who attempted to register online for mobilization were prevented from doing so.
We have blocked them in our system. Their names will be published as well, so that everybody will see them. There are 19 of them. So we have 54 serving corps members in various states. These 54 we have communicated to all our state coordinators. They too, they have already been demobilized.
This is coming after the NYSC invalidated 101 certificates of national service earlier, bringing the total number of affected certificates to 178. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
Watching the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. More reports in a moment. Stay with us.
Nigeria, a land of rich culture and diverse voices, where every voice matters. In times of disagreement, let's choose dialogue over discord. Together, we can find solutions through understanding and respect. Let's build a stronger Nigeria, one conversation at a time. Dialogue, not protest. Unity, not division. Nigeria, united in dialogue.
Welcome back. The National Defence College is assuring Nigerians of maintaining excellence while producing senior officers that will impact national security positively in both national and international assignments. The college commandant, Rear Admiral Olumuyiwa Olotu, was speaking at an interdenominational church service at the college premises in Abuja as part of activities marking NDC Course 32 graduation. Olusheye Adeagbo reports.
The National Defence College Commandant, there leading the staff and participants of the Course 32 graduation to a Thanksgiving following the completion of an 11-month course full of rigorous activities.
It was only God that saw us through, not just about the resources, but for God Himself.
Because we all saw Him and we were terrified. Immediately he spoke to them and said, "Take courage, it is I, don't be afraid."
Scriptural readings, special prayers for Nigeria and Nigerians, leadership of the nation and the college, as well as soul-lifting songs from the women choir in appreciation of God's faithfulness throughout their course period.
The greatest need of the moment is the needed men.
In his sermon titled The Need of the Moment, the college protesting chaplain explains that challenges facing the nation are surmountable with cooperation and determination, while Rear Admiral Olumuyiwa Olotu wants graduates to put God first in their post-college engagements.
We give all the glory to God because He alone has been our sustenance. Well, as they depart from the college, they must continue to hold on to God in their exercise of leadership. They must always remember that action is needed. They must act. It's not enough to have all the knowledge, which of course they've gained here in the college. It's not enough, to keep, seeking ways of improvement. But we must act. The little we do will mean a lot at the end of the day.
111 senior officers, 19 of them from outside the country, formed the participants of the NDC Course 32 graduation. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force has achieved a significant milestone with its pilots logging 10,000 flight hours on the A-29 Super Tucano aircraft fleet designed and built for missions in Nigeria. Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, during the celebration in Kainji, Nibusa, Niger State, says the comprehensive documentation on the activities of the aircraft will allow timely interventions of its operations before evolving into safety hazards. Kabir Abdullahi reports.
Inducted in August 2021, the A-29 Super Tucano fleet has involved in several decisive missions, flying in various operational theaters across the country. More than 8,500 hours flights on fleets were dedicated against terrorists, bandits, and other violent and non-state actors threatening national peace without mishap, a feat described by the Chief of Air Staff as remarkable.
This milestone represents the culmination of years of dedication, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment to our mission of ensuring the integrity of the airspace by gaining and maintaining control of the air while retaining a credible capacity to fulfill other air power tasks as demanded by national security and defense imperatives. In line with Malcolm philosophy, the Nigerian Air Force has intensified its efforts in various internal security operations across the nation to fight terrorism, insurgency, banditry, oil theft, and other criminal activities.
While commending the resilient spirit of unit commander of the crew for embracing the dynamics in the security, the forum was also used to appreciate President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his unwavering support. In Nibusa, Kabir Abdullahi, NTA News.
Watching the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24 is a recap of our major stories. Floods wreak havoc in many communities in Zamfara and Jigawa states.
Nobody can tell you the exact number of farmlands submerged by the flood. It has almost destroyed all the farmlands.
National Youth Service Corps expels 54 corps members illegally and mobilized by university. And People's Democratic Party clears all seats in Bauchi State local government polls, with that report coming up.
This is NTA News 24.
The People's Democratic Party has emerged victorious from the entire 20 local government's area election in Bauchi State. Announcing the result in his office, Chairman of the State's Independent Electoral Commission, Baziek Ahmed Makama said only 3 councillors were not won by the PDP in the just concluded election. Muazu Hassan reports.
7 number of political parties participated in the local government election of Bauchi State, which include the leading People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the state and major opposition party of the All Progressive Congress (APC).
Chinede Ward, the councillor that emerged victorious is from the APM. In Darzo local government, there is also a councillor that emerged from the AAC party. In Das local government, there is also a councillor from YYP. These are the 3 councillors that emerged from different political parties.
Though the forum of some observers expressed satisfaction with the election conduct, some voters said there was a delay in some polling units up to 1 p.m. while the election was not even held in other polling units.
If eventually they went and announced that PDP won or somebody won, we will come out and tell them. We will come out and tell the people that there is no election in Bauchi State.
From where we've gone so far, I think the place is calm, and especially this particular polling unit, we saw that a lot of people came out actually, and the polls started as early as after 8.
Only 3 councillors have won under other participating political parties in the election, with major opposition party in the state having nil. In Bauchi, Muaz Hassan, NTA News.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, has extolled the NKST, Universal Reformed Christian Church, for its doggedness and evangelical mission anchored on love and human resources development over the years. This was at a Thanksgiving service organized by the church in his honor in recognition of his selflessness and dedication to service to the country. Kenneth Nanim reports that the SGF urged the church to remain focused in the face of current socio-economic challenges.
Sunday services across the Christian denominations are usually lively, but something seems unique here at the NKST Universal Reformed Christian Church, Abuja. The worshippers seem to be in high spirits in anticipation of their guest arrival. Eventually, the moment arrives. This one welcome seems to have awakened nostalgic feelings in the SGF, and he has a duty to recognize as many that seek his attention. He knows virtually everyone here by name, not because they are his kinsmen and cronies, but his affection for the common man has proven him to be a grassroots personality. It is therefore not surprising that the church decided to illustrate the saying, "Give honor to whom honor is due." In this way, his contributions to the propagation of the gospel and growth of the society at large is being recognized. The love showered on him by the church speaks louder than voice. The SGF reciprocates. Speaking in vernacular, he eulogizes effort by the church in building schools and other social institutions for human resources development across the nation, as some of the beneficiaries of such gestures, he says, are already contributing meaningfully to the socio-economic development of the nation. This, he says, is in line with the message of the day taken from the book of Matthew 22 verse 36 through 40, which summarizes the commandment by Jesus Christ for man to love God and his neighbor. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, was accompanied by his wife and other dignitaries. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
And that concludes the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adigunloye.